Imagine moving into your dream home, starting a perfect new life with the person you love, only for a ghost from your past to materialize on your doorstep. He doesn't threaten you. He doesn't raise his voice. Instead, he smiles, leaves a beautifully wrapped bottle of wine on your porch, and quietly walks away. To anyone else, it's just an awkward neighbor trying to be polite. But what if that simple gift isn't an act of kindness? What if it's the first piece of a calculated, psychological trap designed to slowly erase everything you've ever built? The psychological thriller The Gift forces us to face a terrifying question. Can we ever truly escape the people we broke in high school? Because as Simon is about to find out, some debts can never be paid with money. They can only be paid in absolute terror. If you think you know who the hero and the villain are in this story, prepare to have your mind completely flipped. Let's dive into how a single, uninvited guest turned a perfect marriage into a living nightmare. Meet Simon and Robin. They are the ultimate power couple. Simon has just secured a massive corporate promotion, and to celebrate, they've relocated from Chicago to a stunning, mid-century modern home in California. It's a fresh start, especially for Robin, who is privately recovering from a recent miscarriage and a struggle with prescription medication. Their new house is beautiful, surrounded by massive glass windows, a detail that feels luxurious at first, but soon becomes deeply claustrophobic. While shopping for housewares, Simon is approached by a socially awkward, soft-spoken man named Gordo. Simon doesn't recognize him at first, but Gordo reveals they went to high school together over 20 years ago. The interaction is instantly uncomfortable. Simon laughs it off as a weird coincidence, but the very next day, the games begin. Robin is home alone when she finds a bottle of expensive wine left on the front porch with a welcoming note from Gordo. A few days later, Gordo shows up unannounced while Simon is at work. He offers to help Robin around the house and leaves an even stranger gift, food for their new dog. When Simon finds out, his corporate, alpha male instinct kicks in. He finds Gordo's behavior deeply intrusive and pathetic. But Robin, feeling isolated in a new city, convinces Simon to invite Gordo over for dinner to be polite. That dinner becomes a masterclass in psychological discomfort. Gordo sits silently as Simon passive-aggressively drops hints about his own wealth and success, subtly mocking Gordo's lack of a career or family. Gordo leaves, but the boundaries have officially been crossed. The gifts escalate from polite to deeply unsettling. Simon and Robin come home one afternoon to find that Gordo has entered their gated backyard and completely stocked their koi pond with expensive fish. For Simon, this is a declaration of war. He decides to confront Gordo under the guise of an apology dinner at Gordo's house. But when they arrive at the address Gordo gave them, the trap springs shut. The house is a massive, empty mansion. Gordo is late, claiming he was held up at work. As Simon walks around, he realizes something is profoundly wrong. When Gordo finally arrives, a sudden phone call forces him to leave the room. Simon uses the opportunity to inspect Gordo's private documents, deducing that Gordo doesn't even own the house. He's just a squatter or a temporary caretaker. Realizing Gordo is a complete fraud, Simon brutally confronts him, tells him to stay away from his wife, and walks out. The next morning, the retaliation begins. Robin wakes up to find the koi pond completely empty. All the fish have been poisoned. Hours later, their dog mysteriously vanishes from the backyard. Robin is thrown into a state of severe panic. Because of the home's massive glass walls, she feels constantly watched, hearing phantom footsteps in the hallways. She begs Simon to apologize to Gordo just to end the feud, but Simon refuses, dismissing Gordo as a harmless loser throwing a tantrum. But Robin's intuition tells her there is a deeper mystery here. She notices that whenever Gordo's name is mentioned, Simon's face tightens with a specific kind of rage. She decides to look into the past her husband has been hiding from her. Robin begins an independent investigation into Simon and Gordo's high school history. She tracks down old classmates, and what she uncovers completely shatters her perception of her husband. 20 years ago, Gordo wasn't just an awkward kid. He was a promising student until Simon launched a vicious, calculated smear campaign against him. Simon fabricated a horrific story that Gordo was found bound and gagged in a car with an older man. The rumor completely ruined Gordo's life, caused his father to physically assault him, and forced him out of school. Simon didn't do it as a childhood mistake. He did it because Gordo was his direct competition for a major scholarship. When Robin confronts Simon, his reaction is chilling. He doesn't deny it. Instead, he gaslights Robin, telling her that the past doesn't matter and that winners do what it takes to succeed. Robin realizes that the successful, charming man she married is actually a sociopath who builds his success on the wreckage of others. Desperate to save his corporate promotion, which is being threatened by Gordo sending critical letters to his boss, Simon tracks Gordo down. Under the guise of an apology, Simon tries to buy him off. When Gordo refuses, Simon's mask slips completely. He attacks Gordo, throwing him to the ground and threatening his life. Simon thinks he has won the ultimate victory through brute force, but he just played right into Gordo's hands. Months pass. Robin, fully aware of Simon's true nature, grows completely distant. After a final argument about his lack of empathy, she goes into labor and gives birth to a healthy baby boy. Meanwhile, Simon's corporate world collapses. His past history of sabotaging co-workers is exposed, and he is fired from his dream job. Defeated, Simon returns to his empty house. Robin has refused to come home with him. Waiting on the porch is one final box from Gordo, containing 3 final gifts. The first gift is the key to their front door, proving Gordo could have entered their home at any moment. The second gift is a CD containing an audio recording of the night Simon attacked Gordo, exposing Simon's fake apology and violent nature. The third gift is a digital camcorder. Simon presses play. The footage shows a first-person perspective of Gordo walking through their house while Robin was passed out on prescription medication months earlier. The camera moves into the bedroom. Gordo hovers over her sleeping body, but the video cuts to black before showing what happens next. Paralyzed with horror, Simon sprints to the hospital. He finds Gordo waiting for him in the lobby, his arm in a medical sling from Simon's earlier assault. Simon drops to his knees, weeping and begging for the truth, desperate to know if the baby is actually his. Gordo looks down at him with total indifference. He refuses to give a straight answer, calmly stating, "Ideas are cruel, Simon. They can overwrite reality." Gordo walks away into the crowded hospital corridor, leaving Simon completely destroyed. Gordo never needed to physically harm anyone. By planting a single, unprovable doubt, he ensured that every time Simon looks at his child for the rest of his life, he will never truly know the truth. The bully didn't just lose his career, he lost his mind. Gordo's revenge was absolute because he realized that the physical scars heal, but psychological uncertainty is a life sentence. Simon spent his entire life manipulating facts to destroy others, only to be completely dismantled by a single, unprovable doubt. It makes you think about the people we've crossed in our own lives, and whether a simple gift on your doorstep is ever truly just a gift. If that psychological twist completely blew your mind, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Gordo actually did it, or was the psychological torment the real trap? Smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and check out this next mind-bending psychological thriller recap right here. See you in the next one.